Does everybody have a copy of the zoning book? You all have them?
No, I forgot. I'm sorry.
All right, these are all friendly reminders, so as we adopt new code sections, we can add new stuff or check out the old. So feel free to use it as your notebook and mark it up and keep whatever you like. Okay. Looking for a volunteer for the invocation. Who wants to use a prayer? Volunteers?
I'll volunteer.
All right. Short and sweet always makes everybody happy.
He doesn't tell me that. Because I would just make it twice as long.
James.
Okay. All right, welcome, James. We're not getting started. We'll get started in about 5 minutes.
Is Matt here, not here?
Yes, Matt's on the phone too.
Good, thank you.
Everybody on the phone, be sure to mute yourself when you're not actually actively talking.
Oh, she said she did.
What time's your phone take? All right, as a proxy for the commissioner, I'm going to call this meeting to order. Go ahead and rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Go ahead with the invocation. We'll go ahead and remain standing.
Lord, thank you for allowing us to be here today, and thank you for letting us all get here safely. Give us knowledge and wisdom, Lord, as we review these planning and zoning requests. And we ask in your mighty name. Amen.
Amen. Okay, we'll move on with roll call. Chairman Matt Mashaw.
Present.
Co-chairperson Joy Evelyn. She's absent. Commissioner Mary Ann Bell.
Here.
Commissioner Robert Bell.
Here.
Commissioner Hank Gutierrez. Who's going to call in? He may call in later. Commissioner Jed Lant.
Here.
Commissioner Lance Lindsay.
Here.
All right, we have a quorum. We can go ahead and proceed. Next item of business is the consent agenda. Approval of the minutes of planning and zoning meeting on October 5th, 2022. We're going to table this and move this to the end because we do not have a quorum yet of seated commissioners. We need to swear you in first. So we'll go ahead and move on to the first item of new business. And that would be oath of office for the 7 planning and zoning commissioners appointed by the town council on September 14th. I'm going to start with a couple admonitions. So, number 1, all business of the planning and zoning commission shall be done in the public. You should not be making side conversation while you're at the table. Always address the mic and address the permanent record. Any group of people more than 4 commissioners who meet on the street are a quorum. You shouldn't be speaking about planning and zoning commission business in the public. We can save that for the commission. If you have more information, feel free to reach out directly to one of the staff and they can give you direct information. Anything that you do, any permanent records may be discoverable. So if you discuss items on your Facebook page or in an email, they may be discoverable records, so you'll need to retain those if you do discuss them on your personal. My advice is not to do that. The members of the board were randomly selected because during COVID we didn't replace commissioners. We went with a whole new slate this time. So we have 2 years and 4-year terms, and they were selected by a draw out of a hat by the council. So the 4-year terms are Joy Evelyn, Hank Gutierrez, Lance Lindsay, and Matt Mashaw. The rest are 2-year terms, and you will have to be reappointed in 2 years. So you will have to, at 2 years, we will ask you for a letter of interest, and we would get the council to reappoint you if that is your intent. And that's all my admonitions. Ruby will make you stand and raise your hand and be sworn in.
If you want to step down.
Chris, could you snap a couple pictures and email them to me? Because my phone's currently being used as a telecom device.
It's multitasking.
So, we're going to read and where it says your name, and everybody says their own name. Okay? You can raise your hand. Okay, go ahead.
I, Mary Ann Bell, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and defend them against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office of the Planning and Zoning Commissioner for the town of Superior, according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Congratulations.
And we can move back now to agenda item E, consent agenda, approval of minutes of planning and zoning meeting on October 5th, 2022. Do we have a motion?
Can I do that?
Yes, you can say it.
I motion.
Just so, since Ruby may not know your names yet, can you please?
Robert Bell.
There you go. Thank you, sir. And I need a second.
A second. Lance Lindsay.
All right. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. On to item number 2, the public hearing, discussion, possible approval of resolution 2023-01, resolution of the Planning and Zoning Commission of the Town of Superior, Arizona, recommending that the Town Council adopt ordinance 2023-180, thereby approving a rezone from the urban residential R15 zone to the urban residential project overlay zone district on assessable parcel numbers 106-12-041 and 106-12-040A. And this is a public hearing, so we're going to go ahead and open the hearing to anyone from the public who wishes to address the issue or any questions from the commission.
You're saying we can come up?
Yes, anyone who wishes to address can feel free to come to the podium and address the commission.
I couldn't hear. I think this first one here is mine, and basically it's 2 parts. I don't know if you have the maps.
It's up right there.
Did they give you the maps? I can't see that. I'm gonna give you maps.
Just as a quick, while Pam's doing that, as a quick overview by the commissioners, since the previous commission enacted this new legislation, program area development is in a historic district that allows for the non-conforming lots in the town that would not be developable as they, due to conditions of the lot prior to the zoning code, to be rezoned, combined, and to be made more developable by lowering some of the requirements for the zoning districts, setbacks, and lot sizes, and items like that. And we do have a staff member from Wilden on, if you have any questions for the staff member who prepared the report.
Okay, if you look at number 1, there's a number 1 and a number 2. Number 1 is the 4 to 5 feet from 106-12-041, which is lot number 2. It's 38.5 in the front and 43.85 in the back. So we need 5 feet from, it's actually about 9 to 10 feet from the garage at the back of the property where the house is. We need to keep 5 feet there, but that allows me to add at least 4 feet to lot 2, which makes it larger, makes it easier to build on. So we're taking 5 feet, no, not 5 feet, about 4 feet from lot 3 and adding it to number 2 to make it wider. And number 2, which is actually the same map, but it shows you on the southern part, lot 4, we're breaking off 50 feet of lot 4 to make a separate lot, which meets all the planning and zoning requirements.
Any commissioners have any question on the issue?
Yeah, so I just wanna see if I got this right. So in number 2 on the map, where it says number 2, you're going to add 4 foot of that, so it becomes 43 feet. That,
It
And
will
then
become 38.5 plus 4 will be about 42 feet in the
Oh.
front.
okay.
It'll be a
42.
little bit larger in the back.
Okay. And then you're taking from, are you, see if I got
Lot 3 and 4 is the original lot.
this. Okay, and you're
I'm taking 50 feet of
to
lot
make another
4.
lot, so you're splitting that up
Yes,
with the 50 feet, and then you'll have the roughly 78 feet left of the original, because you had 78 plus 50.
well, it'll be 74,
Okay.
because I'm taking 4 feet away.
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
from the other side.
Yeah.
Okay. I see what you're doing, I think. Thank you.
Okay.
This one has been, because we couldn't get quorums for the last 3 or 4 months, this one's long delayed. This was reviewed and approved by staff many months ago, so we're hoping for quick action on this so we can get this cleared off the docket.
Do you have any questions?
Any more questions? Any more questions from the public? Since this is a public hearing, we can close the public hearing and we can entertain a motion.
Motion to approve it at staff's recommendation.
Motion approved.
We need a second.
Second.
I second that.
Okay, and then I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Matt says aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. On to the next item. This is another public hearing. Public hearing, possible discussion, possible approval of resolution 2023-02, a resolution of the Planning and Zoning Commission of the Town of Superior, Arizona, recommending that the Town Council adopt ordinance 2023-182, thereby approving a rezone from urban residential R15 zone to urban residential project overlay zone district on assessors parcel number 105040800. And let me pull that map up so you can see it. Nope, not that one. That one. And this is another, these are another PA, which means this is not developable in within the current zoning code. So we adopted the new code section that allows this to be subdivided at a smaller than normally accepted lot size. If you're familiar with these houses, it's 2 houses right next to each other up on terrace. They were dilapidated for a number of years. They've been fixed up. The developer would like permission to split them. It was previously approved as a variance, but because the actual survey final information was didn't meet the ground conditions, they have asked for a new PA, which should allow them to fix this. But the council has approved this previously as a variance.
Okay.
Yes.
This is my property, right?
Yes, this is a public hearing. Anyone's welcome to address the issue.
Thank you. Just a little bit of information on that. It's on Terrace Drive. There are 2 small houses on one lot. It's not practical to split the lot to total conformance of the footage because there's a concrete pad in between the 2 houses. And underneath that, it's on the hillside, the street side, or the downtown side of Terrace. So it's like this. Right, if you go down and cut underneath, there are 2 storage rooms down there separated, and you would destroy it and the whole thing would collapse. So there's no practical way to split those lots. And I would like to keep one of the houses and sell the other house. The one house I'm keeping, I've been working on, I just kind of came to a standstill because of another problem on the roof with ROC. But I will be finishing that, then hope to get to the second one. Any questions of me? Thank you.
Any more questions from the public?
It's not a question.
Sure.
But I do support it simply because it's two houses that have been there for 70-some years. And they've worked perfectly fine the way they're divided. And I think it should be approved the way they stand.
Any other members of the public who would like to address the commission? All right, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing.
I do have a question.
Huh?
I do have a question.
Sure, but I can close the public hearing. You can ask any question you want. You still,
Okay.
go ahead.
So I went by and looked at this because I wanted to get familiar with the property, and there was a concern for me about the slope stability that you mentioned in the back of the house. So that's all been surveyed and.
Yes, I do have surveys, and I've submitted them.
Okay, yeah, because they're not attached.
This is a recorded, this document right here is a recorded survey.
Okay.
And they have been stable for a significant period of time. So there was a new main, the disturbance you might be talking about. The town installed a new sewer main back there. Back when the sewer was installed in 1976, they ran a tap up from Lob, and the neighbor tapped into a tap. So we eliminated we put a whole new main in and ran all of the taps into a sewer main instead of into another tap. So there was some work back there. You'll see the disturbance back there. That's what that's about.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, I'll go ahead and call for the motion. It'll get more comfortable, honestly. It's easier when Matt's running it. He's awful relaxed.
I feel like I'm missing that information.
What was that?
I feel like I'm missing that information on this one.
Which one's that?
This one we're just talking about, same information she has. I don't think I have that packet. I don't think I had a chance to review it.
Lana, can you give him the complete packet, please, for this?
For Sue Anderson's?
Yes.
Sure, I'm gonna bring it up.
One of the things we will discuss with the new Planning and Zoning Commission, the previous Planning and Zoning Commission wasn't always the most technical, so they requested a lot of things in print. So in this case, we emailed all the basic items, and any supporting documentation were available for here for review. But for the commission for the future, if everyone here is comfortable with drop boxes, we can put all of this into a single drop box and share that folder with everyone. It depends on your technical ability to be able to access that. And if you can't access it, you can request, any member who emails me and requests a printed copy, I'll have that prepared for you each meeting. And again, this does get easier. This is our first try with a whole new commission, so thank you all for being patient. What we can do while we're waiting for that is we can go ahead and.
I went through this with Lana earlier this morning, and I think it's beneficial for the town to pass this and everything.
Okay. While we're waiting for that packet for that supporting documentation, we can go ahead and move on to item number 4. We'll come back to item number 3, so I'll table it for the moment. Discussion possible approval of resolution 2023-03, a resolution of the Planning and Zoning Commission of the Town of Superior recommending that the Town Council approve design plans for the new development site. So this is the new tiny home subdivision, the Desert Oasis subdivision on Old Phoenix Road and Main Street. Again, the members of the developers are here to answer any questions you may have. This is not a public hearing, but you can come up and address any questions you have.
Hello, my name is Maria Salcido. I live here in town. I'm also the regional vice president for We Serve Pinal, which is the Board of Realtors, and the president of CARA, which is the community action piece that we deal with housing as well. So I have my own. I know that you received some, but I would like to give you a copy of what I have, and then I will go through this printout. I'll be giving you copies once I finish this copy here, okay? This is Desert Oasis. Let's see, Mr. Hatch, Brian Hatch, is actually my client, and we purchased this property, which is right next to Arnold's. So if you're looking at Main Street, right next to Arnold's, the big empty lot, he purchased this 5 years ago. And at that time, we really didn't know what we were going to do with it. With COVID coming into play and other things, there was a 5-year delay. So when we started going through the development piece of it, you know, he kind of asked, what is it that is needed? This is workforce housing. This is not affordable housing. This is not, this is workforce housing. This is going to supply those, and it is going to be varied. So you're going to have some that's Section 8, because people work in this area that don't make, a lot of money. So there is going to be some Section 8, there's going to be some subsidized housing, there's going to also be just regular market rate housing. There are 2 bedroom, 2 bath. You're going to be able to go through, if you look at the front page there, this is basically what it looks like on the YouTube channel that they have created for this. So you'll be able to take a look at that as well, which we could send a link at a later time. But if you go through it, you'll be able to see kind of how it's going to lay out on that site. There has been the survey already done on it. Soil samples have been done on this. Everything's pretty much ready to move forward. If you look at, after you look at all the pages here of the pictures, you'll be able to see the materials. So how the actual units are going to look, the materials that go with it, this is not going to be mobile homes. It is not going to be modular homes. These are stick-built houses. They will also have different elevations. They're going to have different options. It's going to be a small little neighborhood that's made there. The fire department has gone through it, has done all the measurements to make sure that everybody's going to be safe in that area as well. If you go over to our planned community, it gives you also our planned community piece of where it sits. This is the first time, I believe, a neighborhood on Main Street has been built in probably 80 years.
Yes.
There hasn't been anything. So this is going to be the first one to come out. These are all rentals. These are not going to be for sale.
It's just, I think it's very similar to me what I noticed. Apache Junction and Mesa, they build those new subdivisions, those neat cute houses. When we send the materials, they look just like that. It looks very neat.
Yes, Mr. Hatch actually owns a landscaping company in Utah. His family owns quite a few rentals in this area. I work with pretty much all of his siblings, and they keep up with their properties. They're very well-maintained individuals to the communities that they serve. There is, everything that's being done with this property, it has been 5 years in the making. This isn't something we rushed into and said we're just going to put something up and go with it. So if you want to look at the actual designs of the properties, we did put some of the dwellings in there of how the layout's going to be inside and how the parking's going to be, because it is for 2 parking spots for each property. So if you're worried about Main Street parking, it's not going to be that. There are 2 parking spots, and there's some additional little parking for visitors and so forth as well. Do you have any questions?
So,
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry.
no, go ahead.
Is this gonna be, okay, is this sort of gonna be HOA controlled too?
No, this is rentals. This is not, these aren't being sold.
Okay.
So I assume it's in here, but, drainage and sewer and everything are.
That's in your main packet. The
Okay.
main packet that she gave you has all of your drainage of everything, also the flood zone, everything that has been taken and recorded on that property is within what Lana gave you.
It's been reviewed and approved.
Yeah, it's been reviewed, approved. It was actually approved, I wanna say 4 years ago originally, but then with everything else kinda happened, we just kinda waited for, you know, Dr. Wilt passed, you know, there were some things that happened there too, cause he owned a little piece of the property that was being sent over as well.
And I would assume that water's also been looked at too?
Yes,
Okay.
it's rentals. Yeah, the only time the water piece does come into effect, there's already water sewer that's there, is if we were to sell them, and then at that point, we would need some different water certificates, but this is all for rentals.
It's very difficult to get those certificates now, they've changed the rules. This sort of development is our best hope for getting development, because you can't do a subdivision right now. It's not possible in the town of Superior or anywhere in the Phoenix AMA unless you have water certificates. So, this build to rent is going to be the model we see in a lot of the proposals coming to us. The underlying land here has already been approved. There was a PA put forward, I believe, about 4 years ago. It was approved for this high density. The council's already approved the tentative site plan. The fire marshal's here. He did approve the hydrants, the access and turnaround. So the fire department has signed off on it as well. Civil signed off on it, and all staff is recommending approval.
And if you'd like to meet Mr. Hatch, he is here. He's been working on the lot all day today, so.
I'll be there tomorrow if anyone wants to come help. Todd said he was all good.
Any other questions? Any concerns? Okay, thank you.
All right, any more discussion? All right, I'll go ahead and call for the motion.
Follow staff's recommendation, motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Matt says aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, we can return to item number 3. I'll read it again for the record. A resolution of the Planning and Zoning Commission of the Town of Superior, Arizona, recommending that the town council adopt ordinance 2023-182, thereby approving a rezone from urban residential R15 to urban residential project overlay zone district on assessor's parcel number 105-04.0800. Any more discussion on this or questions? No? All right, I'll call for a motion.
Motion to approve.
We have a second.
A second.
All, what's the phrases in my?
All in favor?
All in favor, that's it. Jeez, it's been a long day. All in favor, say aye, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Matt says aye.
Any opposed? Carries unanimously. Thank you very much. We have call to the public. Anyone wishing to address the commission, please come to the podium. Identify yourself for the record, please.
Chris Armitage, Town Council of Superior, Arizona. I want to congratulate you all for your appointment as commissioners to the Town of Superior. You're going to find, like Todd said, it's going to get much easier. And it's actually, if you're like me, you'll actually really enjoy doing it. I was on the Planning and Zoning Commission when I was elected as to the town council, and I asked Todd if I could stay on both, and he said, oh, no. So I didn't. But anyway, thank you very much for serving your town. It will get more comfortable, and I look forward to, from the council side, seeing the work that you guys do. So thank you very much for that.
Hello, Commissioners. Christopher Casillas here. Congratulations on the appointment, and thank you for serving our town. The town of Superior, as we all know, has a rich history of self-sufficiency, from the First Nations people and the indigenous ones who are here to the Mexican mining families and all those in between. And this rich history is something that we did out of necessity, and as times get tough and we have economic hardships, the self-sufficiency becomes even more necessary. For some, it's a value choice that they make to be in alignment with their values, and for others, it's because everything's getting so much more expensive. When we think about what we can do as a town of Superior and the Copper Corridors, I really do see the potential for us to be leaders in this movement of self-sufficiency. It's important for our community members to be happy, healthy, and wealthy, and self-sufficiency is one way that we can see that that could happen. And it's possible that we could start with some low-hanging fruit of things that can change that will make things better. Just looking at the town code, it appears that we are not totally with the times. Sometimes it's just because we've copied and pasted some of our town code, and other times it's because there's been so many pressing issues, we just need to just have something on the books and move on. But an example of this low-hanging fruit would be chickens and rabbits are not allowed to be raised here per our town code. And Scottsdale, Chandler, Gilbert, Mesa, they all allow for that. Phoenix, they'll allow for that. And it makes sense that they would, and I would hope that we can do the same. So I'm not here to do anything more than share that concern. Also a concern from another citizen who wasn't able to make it here. Her name is Tammy Gorsuch. She asked me to read what I'm about to read now. Okay, so she says, Tammy Gorsuch, unlike dogs and cats, properly cared for rabbits produce byproducts that are useful to gardens and are quiet. They do not bark at passing cars. They do not chase people who are taking a walk. They will not crap in the neighbor's yard. You do not need a rooster for eggs. Chickens with their wings clipped stay in their own yard and do not bark at all hours of the day and night. They will sing an egg song when somebody lays an egg, but that is usually in the middle of the day, and then they shut up. When they're properly cared for, they do not create any more odor and flies than dogs and cats. And again, their excrement is actually useful. It does have to compost a little bit, and when it gets hot, it can go directly into the garden like rabbit poop can, but it can be managed in a way that makes it useful and not offensive. And so I don't know how codes change, but I imagine that something needs to be on the agenda for that to take place. I mean, I'd like to be productive and not just have a thing to say, but see how we can move this in a productive direction. And I guess my question is to make any kind of changes like that, and there are sensible codes out there. We probably have to pull from different places to get something that's good, because each town or each city has code that isn't so great for us, but we could do that, I think. But how is that done, I guess, is a question I'm asking, is how do town code changes happen? I can address that with you. We can only, commissioners can address issues that are raised or direct staff to do so. So, but to clarify, chickens are allowed in town code, livestock is allowed within certain restrictions. You look at the town code, not the zoning code. The town code, sorry, the town code, as I understand, is only for like the Future Farmers of America and one other example when I read it this morning. Okay. Well, we can address that. We'll have to sit down and go over that. There was a this item is might or might not be moved because the state was moving to make it statewide to allow chickens. It was a I don't know if it passed this year. I haven't seen the update on the legislative, but it was in the legislature to make chickens allowable in any city. So
we'll see how that works.
And what would happen to get that changed? What's the process?
We're not allowed to do this, it's not on the agenda, I'm just responding to what you asked, so we can't debate it, that's a violation of open meeting law.
Not a debate, just a question of process.
Again,
I can ask you later, yeah.
I'm not trying to be argumentative,
Yeah,
it's just we're not allowed to do
We
this.
have proper procedure. I
Yeah,
understand.
the first rule of proper procedure, we're not allowed to debate in call to the public.
So then, I will, yield my time and, invite anyone else, who has thoughts on this to also speak.
I know that chicken manure is very good for the soil.
Eggs are all protein. Really
Eggs
good.
are good for you.
Especially when you.
Anyone wishing to address the commission? All right, hearing none, I'll call for a motion to adjourn. Oh, you're not a member of the public, you're not allowed to. And I'm being literal, no, you're staff, you're not allowed to address.
Okay, been very good. I merely wanted to say congratulations and welcome aboard and look forward to working with you folks.
All right, so as much as this evening's been chaos, it will get easier. So do I have a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
Can I get a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries unanimously. Thank you. Have a good evening.